Hello, friends. My name is Vartika, and I am back to my YouTube channel Live Your Dreams with another talk show in continuation to the talk series with a friend who is a counseling psychologist, Dr. Nidhi Rai Chaudhary. Welcome, Dr. Nidhi, to my channel again.
Thank you so much, Vartika, for having me here. It's really a pleasure to talk to you and, to my favorite topics as well.
Thank you so much. Same is the feeling here. And last in the last talk show, we had a deep discussion around what is mental health and why it is so important to take care of your mental well-being. And in continuation to it, we had a discussion around what all topics we can cover through this channel and through the discussions we have on regular basis. So today we will be discussing around what is body shaming and how does it impact one's life. So often people do not understand properly what is body shaming and what is not body shaming, and they are too much wired around unintentionally doing unconsciously doing body shaming, either as a friend, either as a family member, or either as anybody else around us, either as an acquaintance or anything like that. So first of all, from your expertise, I would like to understand, like, what exactly is body shaming, and how does it differ from constructive feedback or self awareness about one's body.
That's a very important topic which you just highlighted here, Vartika. And, before I talk about it, like what it is exactly, I would like also to share one of my, experience when I was teaching, during during, I guess, COVID duration, it was more prominent. Uh, I saw like two of my students, they were having very, what do we say? They were not content when they are speaking, they are coming back to the college again after the COVID era. And one thing which was more prominent during that particular scenario, if you see, people were sitting at home and they were very very confined in their own setting, and they actually lost the will to go out and interact with people again in person. But
True.
once the college was open and university was asking them to come back and start the classes in person, so during that particular scenario they were having a hard time to come back again and start dealing with the other people in person. So to discuss this particular issue, we used to have certain client mentoring session, sorry, student mentoring session, one to one session we used to have. So during those session, these people told me about that, although they were coming from a different background, but they were staying together for a while. And during those conversation, we get to know that they were not comfortable when other people are around them and making certain remarks about their posture, their uh, color, their figure, and everything. They are like, young adults. These are not very small kids, if you see. But if you just focus a little towards their understanding, that they are ashamed, they are guilty, they are feeling so much regretted about their own image, body image, whatever posture, whatever body build they have been brought up. These two kids were very 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 sharp. But the point is, due to uh, certain things which happen in their life, they were not confident enough to come forward and take it as start think whatever they want to, whatever they uh, want to express. They were not confident enough, and they were always feeling that something is wrong with them. So the point is, the individual who is suffering, they can relate with it, that body shaming is not just about receiving certain blunt comments about your own body. And it is not something related to your color, not related to your height, your posture, the way your body is built up basically. For somebody it might be just a joking point, I would say, or maybe just a point to make fun of it. But the point is, the individual you're making fun of it might not be coming from the same mental state. Makes
Right.
sense. They might be having their own battle in their mind. So you need to be a little bit more sensitive when you are just passing certain random um remarks to them. Makes sense. And they
Yeah.
could be your family member, they could be your friend. Again, as you have said, they could be anywhere and they could be anyone. So you need to be a little bit more sensitive towards them. So those two students took a lot of sessions and a lot of encouragement, I would say. And later on they came forward and they did wonderful presentation on these these issues and the points which they were feeling about during the COVID time. So, uh, as you asked about the, what exactly body shaming is and how it differs from constructive feedback, basically.
Yes.
Uh, when you are criticizing somebody, I'm not saying complimenting here, I'm talking about criticizing or maybe making fun, random fun, mocking, or maybe saying certain negative comments about somebody's body shape, their size, their appearance, or maybe their physical feature. So, all these points are falling under the category of body shaming. You are the individual who is, doing the body shaming. And it can also include self directed criticism when people speak harshly about their own bodies. So once you are hearing it again and again and again from somebody in the family, or maybe a friend, or maybe a close member, you start, mocking your own self and start degrading your own body at that
Very true.
point. So this is your self directed criticism, and you are doing a little bit more self harm, than you are realizing about it. So, as you also asked, how it differs from constructive feedback, uh, the basic point is, if you see the intent and the impact, I would say the difference is intent and impact. Constructive feedback, basically, they are focuses on promoting the well-being of the individual, right? You are concerned about this individual, so that is why you are encouraging this individual to adapt a little bit more healthy habits, to have a little bit more healthy options, with empathy and sensitivity, that's for sure. And when you are talking about body shaming, it's like, you are inducing guilt into somebody. You are inducing guilt as well as shame as well as inadequacy, that they are not adequate to handle their own physical appearance, which often basically leads to psychological harm rather than the motivation. So if it is not coming from the perspective of encouragement, or you are trying to motivate the individual, please don't make them feel guilty about it.
Very very particular point, I would say, that you highlighted here, Nidhi. Like the intent and the impact, it has to be well balanced and well measured before you are passing it to somebody else. Because we sometimes we don't know what that other person is going through in their own lives, what is their mental status, what is their life status. Because everybody is not see, these are two words, right? One is which we are when we are go out of our houses, and another one is our inner world and our immediate surroundings which we have inside the house, inside whatever surroundings, whatever people around us we have. So when we have that perfect intent and impact balance and measurable balance, then it is constructive. But if you are passing it just like a, without even measuring other person's life sequences or life consequences or life scenarios, current scenarios,
Challenges, basically.
yeah, challenges, life challenges, then it becomes something which is sometimes little bit unfair, because we are
Exactly. And
not, because yeah, because
exactly.
the other person is not in the same situation, so their empathy comes.
Exactly. So basically, here what is happening when the body shaming is comes into the picture? They are passing the judgment without weighing their words and without measuring the circumstances which the individual might be struggling with. There are
True.
so many silent struggles which we are seeing around. Some of them take it openly, and they just laugh it out or something like that, but somewhere it hurts deeply. And again, I'm not talking about just the body weight is something which is comes into the picture, like, if they are obese, then they are also subject to body shaming. If they are very thin and very slim, then also they are being criticized of having it.
True.
So every individual comes with it's a unique package. So
That's true.
accepting them as they are, that is the biggest thing. And if you are not able to do it, then at least use your words wisely rather than just passing it mindlessly.
Very true. Very true. Thank you so much. So, in your experience, what are common situations or sources where body shaming tends to occur, like family, peers, social media, or even within oneself?
Social media is in itself a biggest platform, I would say, these days. People are going crazy about. And it's a huge point here. But before the social media, if I talk about this family, peers, this part, uh, these are certain areas where you cannot hide yourself. In your family, you feel
Yeah.
that you are the safest, this is the safest place for you, right? But what
True.
happens, not your parents, maybe somebody in your family, as a relative or as a distant cousin, any distant relative, I would say, they make certain casual remarks about your weight, your complexion, your height, often thinking that it is helpful for you, but it actually deeply hurts the individual. One of the case I had in my initial days, another, it was she was a very bright student. They were like, I guess, three siblings. Elder one was a brother, and these two young girls were there. And she was an elder one, and the youngest one was a little bit fair, right, in complexion. So her grandmother used to compare these two girls all the time. She will gonna get a good husband, she will gonna get a good life circumstances. You are a little bit darker, and if you could have been a little bit fairer, then it might have been a different scenario for you, and something like that. These two girls are actually gold medalist, doing their higher education and everything. But this elder one still had a pinch in their heart that might be in my future I will not be able to have a better uh, you know better relationship because of my complexion. She was not able to come out of it, and due to which I have seen her doing wonders in her academics. But once it comes to self-worth, it was zero. She was always taking a step back because she feels that something is wrong with her biologically, which she cannot control, which she cannot do anything. And
Which
going
you
to
can't improve.
parlor and
Improve.
everything, it
Yeah.
cannot fix your complexion. Complexion is something which maybe a little darker tone, a little lighter tone, and something like that. But once it's a start from the family itself, then it is very, very deep rooted inside you. And it was reflecting when she was in her mid 20s. So can you see
Complex
that
step.
how much engraved those roots were? That she was again going back to those childhood days, and she was recalling all those stuff, like something has been done, and which is not fair with her. And a little bit of resentment is also initiated in the initial days of when it could be a sibling, what do we say, bonding. Rather than that, it was a little bit
Rivalry.
something which irked her,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And when it comes to peer, it is your second most comfortable space. When you move to your surrounding, when you move to your school, your workplace environments, etc. So These people are basically your reinforcing factor.
Very
Either
true.
you had a good belief system which started from your family, so either they can reinforce those belief system which were not right at that moment, or maybe they can help you to overcome from that part, right? But if it starts, things happening start matlab, things starts from the comparison again, and it starts with teasing or some sort of comparison or exclusion, because you doesn't look at a particular way, or you doesn't wear a particular way of apparels, etc. So then also it will build upon your childhood belief system. Make sense? Or
Yeah.
maybe it was not there earlier in your childhood, but it is started once you moved out, once you moved out into the society, and you realize that in your family things were different, and in your surroundings completely, things are different. People are judging the way you are wearing the certain clothes, and how you are appearing, what is your appearance depending upon that, etc. So this is something which every teenager, I'm sure that they experience it. But depending upon the family support and the role of the parents, as well as your own consciousness, if it was not started from the family itself, then you will be able to come out of it, you will bounce back. But if it is not, then it might be, it will linger on again to your next stages of your life. Social media, as I have told you, people are going there, and I'm sure that all of us are aware about it, that there are certain unrealistic ideal bodies, standards, right,
Exactly.
which is being
Zero
promoted,
figure, and these days, lot of things.
which are being promoted by our cinema also, and through this social media also. We have so many filters. There are so beautiful girls I have seen, so beautiful, gorgeous ladies. They are so beautiful by themselves, but still they cannot post a picture without using any filter. So that is just a thought. I have seen, like, in my community also. I don't know why it is like that, but they cannot post a picture, a single picture, without this thing, filter, right? So through filters and influencer, these things basically are being intensified, and because of it, the comparison and dissatisfaction about their looks is also something which is very, very prominent around.
Which is very deep rooted basically. See, there were few things deep rooted from their brain wiring from their childhood and upbringing, and then when you get certain type of such type of triggers from social media and your surroundings, I think those deep rooted fears or insecurities get triggered at a very high level.
Exactly. So, as you also asked about this body shaming within oneself, no? So, what happens here? People internalize these social beauty norms, whatever is there around them. Like, I have given you one example of the comparison between sisters. So it also happens the other way around. The elder one might be very beautiful, very upright, but the younger one was not very fair, or maybe the complexion is not right, or something like that. I'm not talking about girls here. Boys also have the similar kind of comparison, right? So
Yeah.
in those points, what happened, they internalize these societal beauty norms, and they begin to shame their own bodies, which leading to chronic self criticism. And the kind of communication we have with ourselves, it actually impacts the quality of our life also. It is something which we cannot deny. The kind of communication we are having with ourselves, it leads or it impacts our decisions also, right? So this is something which we need to understand, that this continuous conversation which we are having with ourselves, is it constructive, or we are criticizing ourselves too much that we are not realizing that how much it is impacting our decisions.
And if I talk about impacts, Nidhi, like how does this body shaming affect a person's self esteem, confidence, and mental well being over time?
Mhm. Drastically. As I'm telling you, know that these conversation which is happening inside, these are continuous. This is not something कि आज आपके अंदर conversation हो रहा है और कल के दिन खत्म हो जाएगा. It is not like that. Something happens, these things actually triggers your conversation inside your mind. Somebody compares you, and if you feel, because you have learned it, the comparison was happening earlier, and now you have learned to compare it by yourself. You are well versed in it. So you started comparing yourself. Ki, okay, maybe she is looking more beautiful, or she is having very good height, and this individual. Oh my God, this is like he has such a good body and all those biceps, etc., which I'm dreaming about. I don't have time to go gym, etc., etc., and to build my muscles and on so on. So in those areas, what is happening? They are comparing themselves again and again with every stimulus when they are moving out, or they are, somebody is coming in, or they are maybe introducing themselves to some new individual, or some acquaintances. This constant reminder and comparison is happening every time. And now think about it, from the childhood to the young adult level, like maybe to by the time you reaches to your 25 or 26. This is something you are, what do we say, you have developed this habit of comparison by now. And after this particular thing, and I'm telling you about this from a very, uh, maybe you can say, the experience or the researches which I have studied by myself. These are the points which always tells you that this comparison thing will not gonna be very helpful for you in a long run. By the end of it, you will always feel that, either you will always find somebody to compare with, or you will feel dissatisfied after comparison. So this is a, like, ongoing process. It's a chain reaction. You cannot stop it until or unless you realize how it is impacting you. So these body shaming, basically these things which is happening around so casually, they affect individual self esteem, it affects confidence, it also affects the mental well being over the time, because you are always in a, low confidence mode. You are not very much up, maybe confident to be in a social setting or in a professional situation. You will be a little bit more social withdrawal due to the fear of judgment, right? This fear of judgment is so common, and I'm sure that all of us can relate with it.
And
Negative
no
body
wonder,
image.
these days trolls and bullies, people
Exactly.
are, rather than addressing or acknowledging these things, people are more in that trolling and bullying zone. So
And in this area, negative body image is basically when you start feeling that, uh, that there are certain flaws inside you which might not even exist, but you have your own judgmental setting by now, that this is how you supposed to be. Your ideal self is something completely different than your real self, due to which emotional distress, which includes your continuous shame, guilt, as well as sadness. And over that period of time, if these feelings are not being addressed properly, they will interfere one's ability to form a healthy relationships. You're getting my point, how it is spreading across. So you will not be able to maintain the healthy relationships and maintain a positive sense of your own body, right? So this is how it is like a chain reaction which is spread across.
true. And okay, we talked about how it impacts somebody. So if we talk about how can one build a positive body image and self acceptance in a culture, we discussed already, in a culture that often promotes unrealistic beauty standards.
See, this is something which is, I would say, it will take a long, long time, and I'm sure that you guys can see, if you see the cinema across. A little bit objectification of the human body, like whether it is male or female, I would say it has been reduced a little, I would say. Females
Yeah.
are a little bit more strong roles rather than just being the eye candy in a picture. If you see early 90s and late 90s movie, now the situation is a little bit better. So redefining beauty to include uh, diversity in shapes, sizes, and ability is also very important. Like you will see one positive example when you try to buy certain apparels, or maybe certain clothing on online media platforms. You will find plus size models also,
Yeah.
which was
Very
not
true.
there earlier.
Yes.
So you will find that there are certain apparels which are only selling the clothes for plus size ladies only, as well as plus size males only, right? And even the modeling journey also, we have plus size models.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So
Yes.
this is something which is happening in the society, and this will actually help them to redefine beauties to include the diversity in shape, size, and abilities. On even in this Instagram also, there are certain plus size ladies who actually tells you to how to dress more appropriately as well as attractively, and you can look beautiful in either of them. Apart from it, if you are talking about your own journey, if you were struggling with this body shaming issue and you want to come out of this loophole, this then you need to focus upon the positive side rather than always cursing your own self because of the flaws which you might be perceiving. Practice a little bit gratitude towards your own body, right? So you can start keeping a accepting journal about your own body, where you can write certain positives about yourself. Limiting exposure to social media which promotes the unhealthy comparison is also important. Like you remember, there was this what is the name of that brand, Fair and Lovely.
Yeah.
I'm sure all of us have seen it from the very young
Right.
ages, you know.
Yes.
And later on, Kangana Ranaut was the individual who actually lodged a complaint against those people.
Yes.
He
Yes.
it doesn't it doesn't give you a brighter tone. And what's wrong with my tone? So these kind of examples are also there in our society, which is also showing that we are breaking the bar in the society terms, rather than just going to a lighter version of your body tone. You need to accept yourself as you are, rather than just fixing yourself, which is when you realize later on that there is nothing to fix.
Improvising is always good, but
Eh,
getting into that
yeah,
fixing mode and
exactly.
continuously judging yourself, because when you're improvising, your nervous system is very relaxed, very very relaxed. But once I get into that fixing mode, yeah, this is not right with me, this is not right with me, I my nervous system cannot relax at all.
Exactly. When you are saying the improvisation also, it is this particular term, instead of improvisation, we would say that first of all, accept yourself as you are, then work upon the improvement. If you feel that your skin is having a little bit, on the unhealthy side, like a little bit more oily, pimples, etc., etc., if you feel that it is happening, then change your diet. Try to do it as a more holistic way rather than just fixing ki, okay, if I apply this and these things will gonna come out tomorrow. No, it doesn't work like that. So following a little bit more body positive as well as body neutral influencers who promote authenticity, because social media is providing these things also these days, no, rather than just focusing upon ki, okay, go and fix yourself, do this, etc., etc., as well as another important point which I would like to highlight here is try to engage in a little bit more mindful practice, mindfulness, as well as try to be a little bit more mindful when you are doing your self care practices. Self care is good, that is important, that is Very, very important. But be a little bit mindful. Don't follow somebody just blindly. Focus on your physical as well as emotional well-being rather than only external
Very important.
appearance. This is something which is very important.
True. And what role do family, educators, and social media influencers play in preventing or perpetuating body shaming?
When we talk, as we have already discussed, no, comparison starts from the initial days. So it starts in the family itself. If instead of comparing the child with somebody, rather, first of all, they need to check their own thing, that the child is not subject to comparison with anybody. They are
Yeah.
unique with their abilities, they are unique with their own
Yes.
physical appearance and everything. So families can basically help, or you know fostering this feeling of acceptance by modeling the respect for all body types, as well as they can also show that, you know avoiding appearance based comments. It should be more genuine comments rather than just appearance based comments. And educators can also incorporate discussions on body shaming, body image, self esteem issues, media influences into school programs, etc. So in your educational institute, all those educators can also promote a little bit more holistic environment, that all body shapes and figures can, and they should be accepted rather than just being compared to. So I'm sure that all of us are aware that these days we are conducting a lot of well-being programs in schools also, in in different levels, young children's as well as teenagers and all. So we can talk about this body image issues also, as well as promoting self-esteem. This is something which has to be done. And then these social media influencers, uh, all these influencers are actually they are very, very, you know important in terms, as they are the voice of youth, right? And
Exactly.
they have this, what do we say, uh,
Power
you know
to you know
exactly, to
put some
convey
foundation.
something,
Yeah.
exactly, to convey something positive onto
Yes.
their platforms rather than just doing things irresponsibly. So they can take their job a little bit more sensibly as well as responsibly, and promoting authenticity, representation, as well as body diversity instead of perfection as well as fakeism, and all those filters, etc. Right? So you can definitely use filters, but I'm not saying that always promote those fake beauty standards instead of accepting the authentic one.
I would say I follow Samira Reddy a lot on Instagram. I
Yeah.
am really impressed about her acceptance. Not about body. It's about accepting oneself. She promotes it openly on her channel, and
Hmm.
I am a very regular, not daily basis, but
Mhm.
I am very much into her content. And
Mhm.
the way Samira Reddy is into this body shaming and underlying mental health issues, it's very
Mhm.
impressive. It's very impressive.
Exactly.
She herself in her personal journey. She got second child in her late 40s, I mean, early 40s. And
Mhm.
the way she talks about it openly, the way she talks about her weight gain and her skin tone, she is also a little bit dusky. And if she got pimples, how to treat it. And firstly, you
Exactly.
should accept it. Yeah, I
Exactly.
have. It's okay. Oh, I
Again,
like it a lot.
along with Samira Reddy, that's a very wonderful example which you have shared. Vidya Balan's journey was also the similar on the same platform.
Yeah.
Again, the journey of Bharti, the comedian, her journey
Yeah.
was also very impressive on that area, because these celebrities actually broke the standard, and they came out of it. They had their own struggle, and they were being very vocal about it. What is happening, and they were working on it, and they were talking about it. So when these social media system, no, along with the celebrities and these models, when they use positive language as well as inclusivity, they collectively help breaking down the cycle of body shaming. So
Right.
all these people are actually the, the voice of
Youth.
other individuals who are not able, being so vocal about it, but they were having their own silent struggle.
True.
So
I had gone through even the struggle of Deepika Padukone. She openly talks about the depression cycle she had in her life, and that's why that was the main reason she had a foundation dedicated to this mental health issues and helping out people with such issues. So if
exactly.
I go through Bharti's personal struggle, personal story, years for years she struggled just for her weight, just for her looks, normal average looks, and now she has overcome everything. And when why you are so much empathetic towards these issues, because you had some sort of your own individual life journey where you had gone through some sort of that makes you more connecting. So I like that part that they are promoting it. They are trying to showcase it being a icon for youth or being icon for people who can't speak out openly, who can't
Exactly.
accept it openly. So at least they can accept it oneself when they see all this.
Exactly.
So,
Very true.
if I try to understand more into it, like, can this prolonged body shaming lead to deeper mental health issues like anxiety, depression, or eating disorders?
Yes, yes, definitely. The a story which I have shared in the very beginning of the, conversation, that two siblings were being compared earlier, and she came to me in their, her mid 20s and all. So she was having severe issues with the, self image, which later on, when we talked about a little bit more deeper and everything, so we understood that these, issues were leading her, matlab, during the higher education, after the graduation, when she was pursuing her own thing. So that time also she had certain episodes of, severe anxiety, where she was not able to understand why it is happening, what happened, etc. And later on I also get to know that a boy was also being compared constantly, with the elder brother, the kind of body he was having, the kind of appearance he used to have, rather than, a little bit more manly, rather than a little bit more lean and, thing. So in those areas these people were having a lot of issues, and they were not even aware that they were having panic attacks sometimes, right? Although they were episodic due to certain intense issues and all, but they were there. And when we are talking about this body shaming, these are certain things which actually creates a kind of a significant risk factor for severe mental health concerns in their later years of the life. So it can definitely lead to anxiety, especially social anxiety, because they feel that they are going to be, compared again, where when they were being compared at home. So what makes them believe that if they go out they will not be compared in, public.
Hmm.
So social anxiety and body dysmorphic concern is definitely there. Depression, in some cases, might be, but depression will also, what do we say, it is a little bit more comprehensive if we see. So only body shaming cannot lead to depression, but there will be multiple issues, but yes, it can be one of them. So feeling of worthlessness, if it increases to that level, so then might be individual starts moving towards the isolation and hopelessness, if it is reaching to a extreme level. And eating disorder, definitely, such as anorexia nervosa and bulimia and binge eating, these days we are so much aware about. So when individuals attempt to control their bodies through these extreme eating behaviors, they feel that, by this thing they can control their own appearance and so on, but it doesn't happen like that.
Emotional
And
eating is also there.
yes, yes, this emotional eating is also known as binge eating these days. And apart from it, self-harming behavior and suicidal ideation in certain cases, I'm talking about certain cases, or maybe appropriately we can say severe cases. So these things can also be visible in these areas. So internalization of these negative messages which is happening and which is being repeated around you a lot, uh, about your own body, can actually creates a cycle of shame, as I was telling you about, as well as once this individual feels that he or she is responsible or something is not right happening with them, so they starts indulging into the behavior which is kind of a like self punishment. So once they involved into this kind of thing, when they start punishing themselves, this is the thing which worsening their mental health conditions. Make sense?
Yeah.
So that is
That
how
is that is a worst case actually, when you feel like, as you say, it's very connecting when you feel worthless. So then you get into that mode of self punishment, and you feel like you, anyways, you does not matter, your existence does not matter much on this earth, which is very
worthlessness
untrue.
as well as hopelessness, both
Yeah,
these two
hopelessness,
things.
which is very untrue. Each and every individual on this earth is unique and has been sent with a very unique purpose to serve a very unique purpose to, for this society, for their own lives. So there is no comparison. Everybody has a unique purpose. Okay, if
Exactly.
I talk in continuation, Nidhi, what are some healthy ways individuals can cope with or heal from the impact of body shaming?
It's a long journey, uh, depending upon the age the individual is. So one system cannot follow with everybody. Again, as we are talking about, every individual is very unique, and their struggles as well as their, experiences in life are very unique. So depending upon that, we have to modify the kind of, coping strategies. But in general, if we talk about, uh, it is a little bit more of emotional regulation as well as self compassion. These two things are very important in this area. If we talk about that emotional processing, this is something which they need to understand what sort of emotions they were experiencing when they were being compared.
Hmm.
So this is a journey which can actually very difficult if you are a little bit more you know what do we say, a little bit more aged. If you are young adult, then also it can be treated. But if you are in your what do we say, mid 30s, or 40s or 50s, then this particular situation or scenario may need a proper intervention. As well as depending upon your experiencing in early days, therapy can also be very very important in this area, and it can help you to come out of it a little bit more easily as compared to just doing it by yourself. So
Okay.
self compassion is needed, and sorting out your own emotion, the kind of burden which you were carrying it by yourself. If you can let it out with somebody around you, if you found somebody around you, then it's very nice. But if it is not like that, then please go and seek a therapy. Counseling psychologists, clinical psychologists, and all those people who are working in the field of mental health area, they can actually help you out with the help with a certain therapeutic process. And in this certain these kind of therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, if I talk about, this therapy is very very effective in this area. And self compassion practices like learning to speak kindly to your own self instead of always indulging into self criticism. There is a book, no, how to speak to yourself,
Yeah.
what to say when you talk to yourself, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
I have to
this
read,
book
I have to read that book 3 times to understand that. First time I
that
read it, I was not getting out of it, that habit, that wiring. Then three times
exactly,
I read it, and after third time, I was
that
able to.
neurological wiring which is just talking about is actually very true. You start repeating those words which you have heard for yourself again and again and again and again, and
Yes.
you start using those similar language for yourself. So in this area, learning to speak kindly to yourself is very very important in this area. Not all the time criticism can, it is not very fruitful. So at least self criticism has to be taken care of. Other than that is, if we talk about social media, how you can deal with it. So in social media, a little bit of media literacy, understanding that images on the social medias are often filtered and unrealistic. You need to
Exactly.
understand it rather than just blindly following things. So, and the people who are showing so many things, so many happy emotions and all those stuff, they are also having things otherwise, because it is a balance of, things. It is not always, what do we say? You will not always have the sunny side. Sometimes rain will also be there,
Yes.
and it's a kind of rainbow, which makes picture more perfect, no?
Perfect.
So exactly. So in that ways, you need to understand that what is fake and what is not fake, what is, what is realistic. And another than this particular area, what we discussed here, try to surround yourself with the people who are a little bit supportive to you, as well as those who promote the body positivity, rather than always comparing you, criticizing you about your body. And the baseline here, I would say, is please focus upon the function rather than the form. You have been blessed with this body, whatever form, whatever color, whatever shape you are in. Focus upon the, blessings on it, that it is a functioning body for you. So many
Yeah.
people are there, that those who are not, um, able to perform the work because they don't have the limbs, they don't have the capacity of their brain, etc. So appreciate what your body can do rather than how it looks. So if that kind of gratitude if you have, then I'm sure that you will be able to have a better journey forward.
Very nicely, very nicely you elaborated here, and that is how is the power of gratitude. First of all, whenever you wake up in this, every morning, you should be thankful that you woke up, right? And then you should be grateful for whatever you have. You can walk, you can talk, you can listen, you can speak. There are many people who are on a different kind of journey. So be grateful for everything you have. So,
So,
okay. So for today's talk show, I have one last question to you, Nidhi. I already took a lot of time, and it is like if someone realizes they may have unintentionally body shamed another person, not intentionally, unintentionally, how can they make amends and be more mindful in the future?
acknowledge it with empathy. Once you have realized it, ki, okay, you have done something like that. So instead of being defensive about it, please apologize sincerely without having any sort of agenda in your mind. Acknowledge this thing, your words might have hurt this individual. So this is the first thing. Please acknowledge it and apologize sincerely. Other than that, if the individual got hurt severely, or they are not able to hold up their emotions and they are venting out, or they want to speak back to you, please listen to them. At that moment, at least give them a little bit space and listen to them, affected individuals feelings, and avoid minimizing their experiences. So this much you can do at the basic thing. And apart from that, this is something which you can do that time only. And later on, once you realize, okay, you have done it unintentionally, so reflect on why that particular comment was harmful, and
Very
try to educate yourself on body positivity as well as inclusive communication. Sometimes
very nice.
unintentionally, in workplace, and maybe in social gathering, we say certain things which might be offensive to other individuals. But the point is reflecting upon it, as well as educating yourself ki, okay, what are the things which I need to take care of, as well as how can I improve my communication without pointing out. Because some people are very very, you know uh, they cannot control themselves. They are very quirky and they just pass certain comments like that. They might not be having those kind of, ill intentions in themselves, but controlling their words is so very much needed when you are speaking in public,
Or maybe
right?
you can see. cracking jokes and little bit teasing around, that is also needed. Life cannot be very monotonous, but you have to understand what is your intent and what it can have an impact on the other person around. And in
You
case you
can.
feel, just reflect and ask that person directly, my intention is not to hurt you, it's just in a very playful and teasing manner, like a friend.
I
I hope it does
completely
not hurt you.
understand that part. I completely
Reflect.
understand your part. What you have said, that can be workable in you know, what do we say? Um, in personal setting, in family space, in general. It is not acceptable at all in workplace and professional setting. Even if you say those words later on that your intent was not wrong, etc., it can go and it can backfire you for surely, because now we have certain laws and regulations and all.
Mm,
Make sense? So
yeah.
that is why in public speaking, as well as especially in a professional setting, be mindful about your speech. Avoid appearance based remarks in the future, as well as, if you have, please improve your communication around the body shaming aspects in the professional setting. I'm saying personal setting mein you can apologize, you can say so many things, etc.,
For that you have to reflect
apologizing
first.
sensibly and everything. But professional setting is entirely different. You need to be aware about it, that uh, it depends upon your boss also. So that is why I'm saying that please be a little bit more mindful in those settings, because if the individual has taken it as offensive, or if this individual is already struggling with certain issues, then it can actually backfire upon you.
Agreed. Agreed. Thank you so much, Nidhi. It was a very insightful session around understanding body shaming and what is body shaming, what is constructive feedback, what are the differences between the two, and how can we try to overcome this and build a positive image for ourselves in spite of all the brain wiring or all the social influences we had been accompanying with us till this age or till this journey of life. So it was very nice, it was very insightful. Thank you for your time and effort, and I know you are very humble to join me for this cause, because at personal level you are very much inclined, not just professional level, at personal level you feel very much connected to social well-being of people in general, and noble causes that attract you a lot. I have been part of few of your sessions, I have been following you for few of your sessions. Thank you so much, Nidhi.
Pleasure is all mine, Vartika, and you have already summarized the things which I would like to highlight here. So only the base, only by ending this conversation which we had, it was very very important. I would like to highlight one more point. Most of the times, unintentionally, we engage in certain practices which we don't want to. So for all of us, especially in these kind of days, where mental health is being a little bit more hot topic these days. So for every individual, I would request, try to develop empathy as well as awareness around these topics, because we are doing this kind of conversation, why we are bringing these topics with in front of you, so that all the individual can create or have a better understanding about these issues. These topics or these names you might have heard earlier, but a little bit of deep understanding is necessary, because this kind of awareness helps you to transform the experiences into opportunities for the growth as well as sensitivity towards others. That is the main reason why we both are connecting here and bringing these topics in front of you, so that you all can develop this kind of sensitivity, for others especially, and we
True.
can be a little bit more holistic society around.
True. Thank you, Dr. Nidhi. And thank you, friends, for your love and patience in watching this talk show video. And with our next talk show, we will be deep diving into this topic with a research oriented approach and therapeutic measures, as we already discussed, Dr. Nidhi. And sayonara until we meet and talk again. Bye bye.